Okay, so now the player mechanism, check that out. Look at that. I'm going to have to grab the camera and show you this. You can actually see some of the old hoses, and they are like brittle as glass. Let me grab the camera and show you. Wow, can you believe this craftsmanship? Look at this stuff. There were no computer-controlled machines back when they made all this stuff. Look at this little crankshaft, and it moves those little wooden valves. Little bellows in there. That is just amazing. Here are the little tubes. If you counted them up, you get 88, one for each note, and they are, well, don't, oh, look at that. Well, the owner of the house has left, so don't tell her, but I just broke one of the tubes. Boy, oh boy. Okay, so now we're going to take out this piano action. Here's where this baby really is going to get cleaned. You'll enjoy this. Well, you might be tempted to say there's no way we're going to pull this baby out because there's so many moving parts. But it's deceptively simple. The things that have to come off are these knobs. This is called the action cradle. These are all felt and wood parts here. But this baby's a cast cradle, and you'll find 3 or 4 on a piano. And the knobs just should turn. Oh, gosh, that's tight. Okay, so let's take those off and see what happens. Okay, we got the knobs off. Now let the fun begin, because we're going to take this whole thing out. Probably the most important thing to remember here is to hang on to this action. See, it's starting to move. Hang on to it by the metal. Don't hang on to it on any wood parts. I usually like to grab it by both ends and then go straight up. You'll find that some of the pedal rods, you know, the pedals down at the bottom, when you press on them, they're connected on the end of this action, and they'll usually just pull right out. Okay, so they'll come out, and probably a smart thing to do, if you're worried at all about how am I going to get this back together, take a picture of it all. Take a picture exactly how everything's in there, and then you'll see once those knobs are off, we should be able to lift this baby right off, and we're going to take it right outside because it's going to be filthy. So let's do it. Here it comes. Oh yeah. The thing that's in my way are some of those hoses from the player action. But look at that. There it is. The beast. Now, you might want to get one of your bigger friends to pull this out, because this baby ain't light, but it's filthy. Alright, I just came back in the house to show you something. These are the pins that those knobs came off and the action cradle was tightened against, right? These babies. Those will destroy, those will absolutely rip the mutes, the little felt and wooden parts that were on that action and the hammers. So you've got to make sure you go straight out, you lean back and then go straight out with the action. I would recommend getting someone to help you lift it straight out and just go really, really slow. And you know what? If you break something, you can always buy a part. Call a local piano tuner and say, hey, I busted something, I need a part, blah, blah, blah. But I'm convinced you won't. I would say try this at home, but I guess my disclaimer is you're on your own. It's your piano. So anyways, you'll see some of the rods here. You can see that the action slipped right out of there, and once we get that action outside and clean, I'll show you where those go in. Here's another one. This little goodie here is from the player piano action, so you can kind of discount that. But the rods that actuate the pedals that you have on your piano are wooden, and there's going to be 2 or possibly 3. Or if your piano's busted up, you might just still have 1. But anyways, there it is, without the action. See, these things back here are actually the backs of the keys. Look at that. All the way. They're like 1.5 feet, maybe 2 feet long. If I wiggle it up here, you can see the keys back here. So we're actually going to pull all those keys out, if you can believe it. Before the end of this night is over, we're going to pull those babies out, and we're going to clean those too. So let's go outside and do some amazing stuff with that action. If you're a clean freak, you might enjoy this part. You can see the whole action is just sitting on its legs, and it'll stand all by itself. Make sure you've got a nice flat patio to do it on, and make sure you're in a place where you can make a mess, because this is really kind of gross. If you're a neat freak, this might freak you out. So I've got a shop back here, and it's set on blow, so there's no way you could suck all the dust out of here. You've got to blow it out. So let's do it. thing around then too. But you can lift it up and get underneath. Look at that. Okay, the action is out, and now we've got to get to those keys because we want to pull those out, and you won't believe what we're going to find down there. There's going to be paper clips, there's going to be pencils, probably a dead parakeet, there'll be all kinds of stuff in there. Again, you don't have to deal with this most likely. This is the player mechanism, and again it will just fold up out of our way, and usually none of this stuff is here, but it's interesting. It is sure interesting. But now we've got to take off the bottom part of the music desk here, and that usually has a couple screws, one on either side. There it is, look at that. Getting a little closer. Alright, the next is the fall board, and the fall board falls down on your fingers, and that's why they call it the fall board. But it's a whole unit here, and wow! Okay, there it is in closed position, but there's a couple screws in the back here. Pull them out. Oh, I found something down there already. Mom, happy birthday, it says. Look at that. Ha ha ha. I won't let you read it, because I probably shouldn't read it, but I did say, Mom, happy birthday. That's kind of cool. Okay. Pull out this last screw, and this whole fall board assembly will come right out. Here it comes. 1, 2, 3. Look at that. And what did I tell you? I promise you I did not plant this. Paper clip. The thing is, a lot of times those will go down between the keys, or if all of a sudden you have sticky keys, most likely that's the culprit. It's falling down in there. But I'm going to show you how we're going to take these babies out and clean underneath the keys. So, deeper. Okay, now you can see the key. This is called, underneath here is the key bed. That's where the keys sit on. But you can see little pins that the key is actually all right on there. And with that fall board out of the way, it's amazing how long those babies are, especially when I shoot it like that. Those keys are really long, and you can see clear in the back, those little brass buttons is what the action actually makes connection with. And when you move a key, that runs the whole action. And again, this stuff you won't have to deal with. This is all player mechanism, so you can kind of just erase that out of your mind, but it sure is cool stuff. I want to just show you this again. Look at this. This is kind of neat. Little wooden bellows run by a crankshaft, run by a chain. Look at that. Fantastic craftsmanship. All run by vacuum. But again, all the hoses are busted, so it'll never see the light of day again. So what we're going to do now is we're going to actually pull these keys out. Watch this now. If you grab one of these keys and you got to lift it straight up, look at that. The whole key is out of the piano. And this piano is old enough that it could conceivably have ivory on the key, but it does not. It's got plastic on there, which is okay. And but the key is really quite long. It usually has a lead weight embedded in it, usually about there, but I don't see that in this key. I don't know why. They must have balanced it very nicely. But we're going to take all those keys out of there, but you don't want to do that without getting some method to put them in back accurately, or you'll be in a world of hurt. So I'm going to show you exactly how we're going to do that.
To check out this entire lesson and go through the huge online library of music lessons, come on over to PlayPianoTODAY.com.